Let's go! Eli Holstein decommits from Texas 8-4. Can LSU scoop up the four-star 2023 quarterback? And you see him here in the state championship game, missing an unblocked blitzer, two guys breathing right down his neck, and he throws an absolute bomb right here for a huge touchdown in this game. And Zachary would go on to win the state championship Holstein's junior season. So now he's entering his senior season, and the Louisiana 2023 crop of quarterbacks are stacked. And we'll talk about Arch Manning and another dual threat quarterback in just a second that is rising up the rankings. And you see an absolute bomb right here. Holstein stepping up in the pocket, throwing on his off foot, and look at this 50-50 catch by the receiver. Really good play by him. But, we're focusing on Holstein here, just the ability to make this throw and, step up in the pocket and find the guy is really good stuff. And you see this consistently throughout his tape, just some absolutely spellbinding level throws. You see another one here. You see him launch this ball from his own 10-yard line here, steps up in the pocket, evades the rush, two hands on the football, and look at where this ball was thrown. Essentially from his own 12-yard line, and look at where it lands. I mean, that is in stride around the 35-yard line. So you guys do the math there. That is an absolute beast of a throw. So how good is Eli Holstein? So he led Zachary to this 15-0 record, and it was obviously an amazing state championship run. The first thing, though, is that his stats aren't the absolute greatest. They are very, very good. Don't get it twisted. He didn't commit a lot of turnovers. He did a good job leading his team, but it's not some cartoonish stat line. I'll tell you this. I felt Walker Howard's Jr. state championship run, where he led St. Thomas more, was a little bit more impressive than what Holstein was able to do, even though Walker Howard's season was shorter because of the Rona. But you see here, this to me is one of the more underrated aspects of Holstein's game is his running ability. You do get some Josh Allen kind of vibes when you watch Eli Holstein play, which is obviously really good stuff. You want a dual threat quarterback in the modern day, but at the same time, his rushing statistics weren't all that incredible either. So, yes, he does give you some dual threat ability, and obviously, one of his biggest attributes is his size, and you see here, he's bigger than this defensive end, and he just throws him to the ground like it's nothing. Get off me, son! And then he finishes off this run for a touchdown. This is something else that's a major plus with Eli Holstein. His rushing ability in the red zone is one of the best you'll ever see. And this, to me, is just a missile. He looks right, works back to the left, and just look at this rope. Boom! So before we get to this next throw, we have a huge announcement on our next live stream, the 22nd of March. You don't want to miss it. And I know our normal live stream schedule, it's actually going to get shaken up quite a bit, and for a good reason. And I'm going to give away this Clyde Edwards-Helaire patch card as well. You're going to love it, baby. Let's go. Is one of the best you'll ever see. And this to me is just a missile. He looks right, works back to the left, and just look at this rope. This is a missile right in stride. You won't see better throws than that. So we'll let this play in the background as we continue our breakdown of Holstein. So the first thing as we head back into the state championship game is when the playoffs started for Zachary, Holstein did start to commit turnovers, which is a bit of an issue with the fumbles and the interceptions and all of that. But in the grand scheme of things, he was, for the most part, a turnover-free quarterback. Something else is because of those turnovers in some games, Holstein had to lead some pretty big comebacks, including one versus West Monroe, where they started off down 21-0. So this kid showed me some real guts. He obviously has all the athletic traits you want out of a quarterback. He's not the absolute fastest, but he can run. But his arm, as you could tell, is really freaking special. Does this mean LSU has a shot to get Eli Holstein? And the answer is yes, but it doesn't mean that it's highly likely. As of right now, doesn't matter which recruiting reporter you read or who you talk to, it looks as if the Death Star is the leader right now for Eli Holstein. And by Death Star, I think you guys know what I mean. Alabama. So Holstein has been camping a lot in Tuscaloosa lately, and it does seem that the timing of this would tend to make you think that Alabama is closing in on getting Eli Holstein. It's also very important to point out that an elite quarterback by the name of Nico Imavella, I don't know how to say his last name, but to me, he's the best quarterback in 2023. He did commit to Tennessee, and there were some people that believed Alabama had a good shot at landing him. So, as of right now, if I were to pick one school for Eli Holstein, I would guess it would be Alabama. But this is where things get very interesting for LSU's recruitment of quarterbacks in the class of 2023, is that there's not one, there's not two, but there's three really talented quarterbacks in the state of Louisiana that LSU could pursue. Now, of course, Eli Holstein is one of them, but Arch Manning is the biggest domino out of all of them. Now, on our live stream last week, some of you said that Eli Holstein is better than Arch Manning. Heck, some of you think Rickie Collins is the best quarterback in the state of Louisiana. But as of right now, every school is still after Arch. He made a recruiting visit to Georgia. Texas is also going to be in the running. But hopefully LSU can find their way back into the Arch Manning sweepstakes. I also hope LSU can work its way back into the Holstein sweepstakes. But there's obviously some history with LSU that makes it very interesting, because Holstein early in his career transferred from St. Thomas More to go to Zachary. And he transferred from St. Thomas More because Walker Howard was a quarterback at St. Thomas More. And obviously Eli Holstein wouldn't have wanted to wait for his opportunity to be a starter until his senior season. So he decided to transfer and go to Zachary, and this junior season was actually his second year as a starter. And his older brother, Caleb Holstein, was the quarterback at St. Thomas More before Walker Howard. So Holstein did have to make this move over to Zachary, and maybe, just maybe, he doesn't want to be in a quarterback room again with Walker Howard. With that said, I don't think that should deter LSU from quitting to recruit Holstein, simply because, you know, every quarterback room you go to at an elite Division I school is going to be loaded with competition, and the likelihood that you play as a true freshman is always going to be small. So, for me, yes, it doesn't look as if LSU is in the running at all for Eli Holstein, but at the same time, never say never, especially in this world of recruiting that we're in. What if Eli Holstein wants to go to Alabama and Arch Manning also decides he wants to go to Alabama? Then Holstein is back up into contention. Then that leads us to Rickie Collins, who is also a really talented quarterback out of Woodlawn High School, a four-star who actually went toe-for-toe versus Eli Holstein in a great game this year. This is a kid who just earned himself an Elite 11 invite this past weekend in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Cooper Patagna, who's at 247 Sports, said that he said that our guy, Rickie Collins, was the absolute best quarterback on the field, and it showed with his Elite 11 finalist earning. An Elite 11 is one of those things where every elite quarterback wants to make it. It's in a camp, it's kind of complicated, but still, the Elite 11 finals is something that is really hard to get, and Rickie Collins earned himself an invite to that with his performance this past weekend at Parkview Baptist High School. So, right now, Rickie Collins is currently committed to Purdue. He did get an LSU offer from Ed Orgeron and the LSU staff of old. We'll see if Joe Sloan, the quarterback coach, follows up with that and really starts to pursue Rickie Collins really, really hard. Boom, I'm looking at you right now, okay? And if you just happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. We obviously have those super fun live streams, and they're about to get so much better. I just cannot wait for tomorrow night. But obviously, it doesn't matter if you're watching this 2 months from when I posted this. We obviously do very deep film breakdowns and recruiting and current and whatever you want to talk LSU football. We get to it all day, every day. And this is something that we always do at the end of every video. We always like to give you a few extra nuggets outside of the main topic here, which of course was ELI HOLSTEIN. And in this case, I want to focus on the current LSU quarterback room and why it's not the end of the world if LSU does miss out on HOLSTEIN. The first thing is that LSU is in the running for other elite 2023 quarterbacks, most notably Dante Moore, a 5-star out of the state of Michigan, who is a pocket assassin. This is a guy who just visited Baton Rouge and the new staff just a few weeks ago. So obviously Joe Sloan and Brian Kelly are putting in a lot of work to potentially land, to me, what would be the most unique LSU quarterback recruit ever. A 5-star out-of-state QB recruit is honestly pretty rare. LSU's not had one, of course, since Russell Shepard, and of course, he never played quarterback, and Dante Moore will for sure play quarterback. In fact, I still have my Russell Shepard rookie card back here, but, you know, obviously that would be absolutely huge. And there's other quarterbacks, Christopher Vizina, I know I'm butchering his last name as well. He is also a top 100 quarterback that LSU is pursuing. So even outside of the 3 out-of-state quarterbacks, it's not out of the question that LSU has to go out of the boot to get their QB for this cycle. The second thing is, it's not the end of the world if LSU doesn't get a QB this cycle anyway. If you truly believe Walker Howard is going to be as special as we all think he's going to be, it makes the impetus on landing a 2023 signal caller that less important. Now, it does increase the importance of getting a 2024 guy, and DJ Lagway, a really highly rated quarterback out of the 2024 cycle, is certainly in the mix for LSU. He also made a recruiting visit to Baton Rouge not too long ago. So if you do believe in Walker Howard, it does lessen the blow if you don't get anyone. And last but certainly not least, you always do have that transfer portal. And as many of you know, LSU has been mostly a transfer QB school. There hasn't been a quarterback that finished out his tenure at LSU in quite some time, as many of you know that stat. But still, of course, you would like to get your own homegrown products as well. So that's obviously very, very important. And finally, what is the offense even going to look like? You know, I think a lot of quarterbacks are going to want to see what Mike Denbrock and Brian Kelly have in store for what they view this LSU football program moving forward. Is it going to be a little bit more pro-style base, or will those two open it up compared to what they did on their last few stops? So keep that in mind as this quarterback recruitment continues. Boom! I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, let me know down below. I'm going to need your help. Who is the best Louisiana quarterback in the class of 2023? Type whichever answer you want. And, of course, we'll talk to you on the live streams, baby. Let's go. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! We're doing some barbecue chicken tonight. Let's go.